Uh, Good day, everyone. This is Ifeoluwa Akemi here again. It's 12 noon prime time Africa here in Nigeria, the giant of Africa, and I am here to welcome you all to another session our of our SP Talk session. And today we'll be talking about a very important topic, which is career. It is why we are in SP. It is why most of us are in school. It is also, what most of us have issues with. Most of us do not really know how to choose the right career path, how to work on the right career path after school. So today's topic would be how to jumpstart your career after school. And with me here today, we have a scholar, an important person in the SPOE community. Here we have Mayokun Oke, and he'll be talking to us about our career today. Let me welcome him to the stream, and he'll introduce himself. Hi, Mayokun.
Yeah, thank you very much, Fair. How you doing? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, crisp.
Yeah, beautiful. Warm greetings to everybody that has joined us for this stream today. It's such a pleasure. So, yeah. So, you wanted me to make an introduction of myself. I have a slide that would talk a bit about that when I do start out presenting. So, I think every additions or things I would want to tell people about myself, I'll leave it up until that time, and then we'll take it at that time.
Awesome. Okay, that works fine. I think without nothing holding us, I think we should go right ahead and please share your slide.
Okay. Yeah, I've done just that, and then So I think it would be nice if we have people on YouTube, like you said, the comments. It would be nice to see comments from people so that we know that there are people following. Yes. My slides are up now. I can see them. Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. That's for people in the West African time region and above, and if there are people joining us from outside outside Nigeria, I would just say general good day to everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here. SPOAU is home for me. That was where I started my SPE journey in 2014 with the help of senior colleagues at the time, helping me try to understand what it was to be in the industry, the petroleum industry, and try to have a career as a chemical engineer. So it's been an awesome and rewarding experience ever since then. XP is practically the best society I have joined in my life and in my career. So I am so excited to be here. SPOE, thank you very much for the honor. I really want to appreciate the president, Florence Temitope, and Ifeoluwa Akemi, the vice president, and every other person that has worked towards the success of this program. Thank you very much. So I will start right away, and today we'll be talking about how to jumpstart your career. That's the topic we would be sharing on today. So my name is Mayokun Oke. In the next slide, I'll tell you a bit about me. And over the next course of 40, 50 minutes, we would aim to discuss about job starting your career. I currently work as a project engineer with Ajivin Group. Ajivin Group is an oil and gas servicing company based in Lagos State. Like Ifeoluwa had said, I am a chemical engineering graduate. I finished from Bafemi University in 2019. Currently, I also work, I volunteer with the Society of Petroleum Engineers. I'm on the Lagos section board as a student affairs chairperson. I assist the primary student affairs chairperson, coordinating all 6 student chapters under the SP Lagos section. And the one thing that I would say that might want to pique your interest about today and about wanting to listen to what I have to say is that I'm very enthusiastic about career coaching, about academic pursuits for students from the undergraduate level, maybe into postgraduate studies, as well as leadership development for every individual, because I believe that this is a key towards the development of any and every individual. So that's a bit about me. My volunteerism with SPE. I joined as SPE member in 2014 in SPOAU. I've had there's been several advent to represent SPOE in one or two things. And like I said, it's been a rewarding experience. So, by way of content and what we would be sharing today about jumpstarting your career, I would like to give you a bit of an overview about what we would be doing because and what we would be sharing because it's something that I feel like it's very relevant that you have a picture first, and over the next 40 minutes we dissect these things and then you can get to apply them um, in the things that you'll be doing going forward as regards your career choices and all that. And if at the end of this session you have questions, you can always reach me um, through on LinkedIn primarily, and then if anyone likes to also on the SPO, you have my email address. So we'll talk about. I've already told you about me. So the very next thing I would be talking about is managing yourself as a preamble into what the entirety of what I'll be saying to you will be. Then I'll show you a bit about job statistics in Nigeria at the moment, and then would also look at the fact that it's very many times it's about your own personal development and how you grow as a person, not so much about the job. Because ultimately, when you're a person of value and you have a strategy for which you do these things, you would see that you would now be the ones attracting the jobs that you would want. Then we'll talk about job search optimization, just so you are doing what you need to do, expending minimal energy to get maximum rewards. And then finally, we would consider your mental health. So, right about now, I would just like to confirm that we can all hear me on YouTube. So if you can, please, because I really, really, I'm a fan of interaction, and a stream might not be the best fit for me, but this is as awesome as it gets. And I would just like it if you're on YouTube and you're watching live right now, you could just drop a comment just so I can see that there are people um, who are um, who are following and who are seeing this at the moment. So thank you very much. So I will go right ahead about managing yourself. And the reason I want us to talk about managing yourself is that we're in a world where it's such that there is so much going on. I was having talks with some of my colleagues at work yesterday about how that it is now the case that it is now the case that the world is a very very small place. It's very global. We can do things. We can relate with other people almost instantaneously right now in the world, and it's as much as it's such a beautiful thing. It also means that we can get easily influenced. There is more and more information coming across you every day that can affect your mindset, affect the way you see things, and it can also improve you. Depends on how you see it, which is why I have titled this "Managing Yourself," how you perceive all of these things. And the tips I have about this is that generally there's always this uncertainty about the future, and uncertainty about the things that we told ourselves that, oh, this is what I am setting out to achieve. This is what I would have done at this particular time, and maybe you have not yet achieved that. And then this could lead you to having stressful feelings of fear, of concern, of anger. I mean, you could also be anxious, confusion could grip you, and then I mean, there could be grief where you're sad about maybe where you are, all of that. And all of these things are not, they are always, they're normal. You would always have these things. And the one that I would just always also say is that you have to manage the things that come into your mind the way that you feel. And I would also say this that it's very good for your body because as much as we take care of the mind, about our mindfulness, our body also needs to stay fit. And that's where the place of exercise comes into play. That you need to take time to exercise and then you need to take breaks from job search. I'm not saying that you should stop job searches. I'm just saying that you need to take breaks, keep pushing, but then make sure you take breaks every now and then to just do a check of how far you have gone, what you're doing right, what you're not doing right. Do an audit of what you're doing as regards to your job search. That's for maybe people that are about to leave school, people that have not even left school. Your maybe your penultimate year, your mid year in school, your third year and all that. You can you can do this about just taking a break in your job search. Now, I've also mentioned the fact that social media also plays in the world that we're in today, and people are largely influenced by the things that they see, the things that they hear as well. So, because in the world today, you can get influenced just in a matter of seconds. You touch your phone, you're influenced. You open up something to read, you're influenced because these influences are there, flying around everywhere in the world these days, and it's very easy to just get online, find anything, and just get it, get to ingest such a thing. So I have a few tips that I would say that you need to develop a schedule for yourself, and then you keep to that schedule. Now, as regards to the news that you ingest as well, you need to get them from reliable sources. I mean, there have been people who just take I'll give an example. Like I said, I'm also very concerned and passionate about academic pursuits. Like I try to help people maybe who want to go for further studies to try to guide them on what path they need to take because I am also in that path on that path right now. And so there was a news recently about sponsorship for ladies. And although I cannot authenticate the veracity of this source, but someone has shared that with me at the time. And then I was like, okay, have you confirmed the source of this? Because there was no email address, there was no website to check. It was just a well composed broadcast message on WhatsApp. And I was like, okay, have we confirmed where this is from? Is it reliable? Is it something we can work with? And so eventually the person was like, okay, I was about to submit my application after having worked for a long time. I'd stressed myself to do so much. And then it was now just time to put in my application to submit it. And the one thing that happened was that I the email address was bouncing back that they eventually gave. And there was no website to check them on online. So everything just kind of just seemed like, okay, wow, I just wasted my energy and time in doing this. So because but if you have it from a reliable source and you're sure that this is something that is worth it, I mean it helps for you to know that you expend your energy for something that you get return for. So it's also good for you to get on job portals. So this time it's not too late. Get on job portals, get on Jobberman, see what jobs they like. Get on my job mag, get on forums where people talk about jobs and what trends there are right now in the industry. I also advise that you follow industry thought leaders. This is you trying to position yourself for success in your career path. Check it out. I all talked about this before. Exercise also for your body talks also blends with the food you eat. Junks. There's a way your body functions as regards the fuel that it uses, and junks do not do your body much good as opposed to eating good food. Making sure that your nutrition comes from homemade food, well cooked food, and all that. So, and then it's also very good that you manage your thoughts. Whatever it is that you think, whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that you think, whatever it is that you have processed for a long time, ultimately will be what manifests into the things that you say, that you do, and all that. So, um, tone down and until it is entirely dead in the things that you do about comparison. Do not compare yourself with other people. I've always learned that it's just good to compare yourself with you. How was I previously? Where I am right? Where am I right now? And then I check: have I made progress? Have I not made progress? Retrace my steps. What have I done wrong? What can I correct and all that? Because comparison actually is the killer of contentment. You will never be contented if you keep comparing yourself with other persons and all of that. And also, just have it in the back of your mind: the only thing that lasts long or that lasts forever in this life is that nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. So there is no phase that is permanent. That's the one thing that is true. There is no phase that is permanent. There is no one person that is at this position that will forever be there. Nothing like that. There is nothing is permanent. Every phase is transient. Every phase is temporal, and you would just know that it pays you with know that as long as there is no matter what you're going through right now, no matter what it is that you that's crossing your mind or you're thinking about right now, just know that at the end of the day, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that also helps your mind to stay positive and know that there is so much you will do. And I gave all of this things about managing yourself because I want you to prepare yourself for content I will share with you afterwards about your job search, about what you should do, about what you shouldn't do, about what you should do on LinkedIn, about what you should do on job portals and all that, and also developing yourself overall. Like I said, this is all in all to make sure that you are yourself and also an awesome personality. You're growing yourself and you're personally developing. So, I shared it with you before we get into some gloom statistics in Nigeria. That is actually the truth, but it's something that we need to examine any which way. So, this is a chart. showing what unemployment in Nigeria is forecasted to be in the year 2021 and also in 2022. Well, before I touch on this chart, let me show you some more some things about records that's in the past and the present. So first, I'll touch on unemployment. So as at July to September 2018, unemployment rate in Nigeria was about 23.1%. It jumped to 27.1% in the space of about 16 months thereabout, and then in the space of about 20 months, and then by the end of 2020, unemployment was at a record high of 33.3% actually, and 33.3%. And according to some sources, actually, at 33.3%, Nigeria was actually the second worst place to get a job as regards unemployment and all that, because our unemployment was the second highest in the world. Let's also look at one other thing I consider very important: underemployment. Now, this is different from unemployment. It says unemployment means, oh, one is not able to get a job. Now, underemployment on the other hand now means that I get a job, but I am doing something that is way below my grade. I mean, it's way below something that I am qualified for. It's below my qualification, any which way it is. So that's what underemployment is. And the statistics are also there that one in five persons, as at July, September, August 2018, one in five persons were doing something that was below what they were qualified for, and this number increased to more than one in four by mid 2020. And right now, I do not know what the figure for that is from Nigeria, from Statista, but the chart I showed you, I had gotten these figures from Statista, which you can readily confirm online. And the next thing I want us to look at is that, yes, we talk about unemployment, but I like to see unemployment also from the other side, which is also about the fact that there's employment. And that's the fact that unemployment is actually just unemployment rates plus employment rates should very many times just give you a probability of if a total answer of one, which means that if 70% are unemployed, what it means is that 30% are employed. So when you look at unemployment rates, currently our status quo is that unemployment is at about 32.5% as at March this year, which is what this chart shows on the left. And 30.5% means that about 67.5%. Let me make that into a fraction that we can rate it. 2 out of every 3 person is employed and doing something and in a job. And I do not know what the correct count right now, because I couldn't get a figure that I agree with based on what Nigeria's population is and all that. We're not actually quite sure what the population in the country is. Some persons are like, we're upward of 2 million, but there is no census to exactly tell us that. It's just data that we're extrapolating that tells us that, okay, we're about 200 million right now. And at Lagos State, there are 30 million persons in Lagos State, which is the business hub in Nigeria and the business capital of Nigeria, and all of that. But I wanted to just see the fact that, okay, two in every 3 persons, if you have maybe a 50 to 60 million workforce, which Nigeria is way more than that, about 40 million of those people are employed. Of course, we still have the concern of underemployment among those that are employed, because underemployment is among those that are employed. But it still costs the fact that about half of Nigerians are employed doing the things that maybe they should do. Even though to a large extent, for what many of us see is that that is not the case. But I like to see about the fact that things are very gloomy in the country, but there is at least a hint of positivity. And inflation rate, this is another thing that gets a whole lot of us, and it's a big problem for our country because it's gloomy, really, I must say, and it's sad. Inflation rate as at last February, yes, February was approaching 18%. It was at 17.3%, and as of last month, it was almost 18%. So what this means is that, let's say, if you had maybe a million, let me say 100,000 naira last year, with the way inflation has gone, means the money has lost value by 18%. That's what inflation means in real terms. There's been someone, I've seen someone try to explain it very clearly one time, that very many times you have 1,000 naira that could buy maybe a basket of tomatoes before, but after a year, you see that that 1,000 naira cannot buy that one basket of tomatoes, but it will only give you about maybe 82 or 83% of the basket. So it means that your money has depreciated. Inflation is coming, the prices of things have gone up, and if the money you had last year or whatever value cannot buy you what you wanted to buy you this year. So That's about inflation. And so next, we just look at some things that you consider about your career strategy. And it's in the world we're in today, you need to strongly consider certificates and online classes. You need to leverage on networking. And right now, a lot of interactions are with video. They are online. I mean, take an example of what we're doing right now. We're having a video session. It's virtual, and so you need to get very comfortable with video interview. Get very comfortable with it. A few tips about the fact that the way I'm sitting right now, you can see me on screen. My head is just at the tip of the camera. I'm looking straight into the camera, so I'm sitting chin up. So and then I'm also gesticulating with my hand and I'm expressing myself as much as you would see me if I was talking to you in person. So video interview comfortability, get very used to the platform that you need to use if you're going to have maybe an interview. These are just things that you might say, oh, I'm not having an interview yet. Fine, yes, but you need to get prepared for them. I try to pride myself in the fact that there's almost no video conferencing platform that I cannot get the hang of in a couple of minutes these days because I take a lot of practice. I try to work as much as possible with maybe as much as I can do with Zoom. Try to check some other intricate parts of Cisco WebEx, of Microsoft Teams, the Google Meets platform. Just learn about as much as I can. Check up on Skype, what Skype ID means, how to check this, how to use this live URL, how to stream. Just do things that make you a plus person, that make you happy about. Like, oh wow, I've learned that and I'm happy I know it. So, and then you have connections, you've networked with people. It's good that you also follow up with your connections. That's a very, very, very important thing because you don't want to have people that you have known now become people that you're friends with that you no longer know. So, right about now, we'll now be talking about the job search. We'll talk about the job search and what this means and how to go about it and what my recommendations will be for you who are students and things that I think that you can start doing right now. I mean, I my mentor, Dimitra Koshunchi, would always say something that when he teaches you things, you need to write down the things that you would do after that session and the things that you would apply and the things that you will act on. So you write the things that you would act on and the things that you begin to apply immediately. So I think that the next thing that I will talk about, the job audits that I will open up to you. We've already looked at what the situation of things in the country is, and now we want to talk about how you can position yourself to attract opportunities or to be a plus person or to now do some of the things that you might want to do for yourself, with yourself, and by yourself. So, and I just wanted to see this next phase as, like I said, see with a gleam of positivity. Take it all in and act on it immediately after the session. And then, I mean, I am always accessible to if you have further questions to ask and any other things. So I'll give you tips that you can use for a successful job search. Things that you can do to be successful in your job search. I had used this picture about two persons smiling at themselves on the couch. I just liked the picture. It felt appealing to me, and it was for one reason. The job search period can be very, 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 very tasking, annoying, frustrating, filled with anxiety. It can even lead to depression. People can be very, very, it can be gloomy and sad. But at times when you do things a bit differently or you learn, you upgrade yourself, you do things optimally, it can be a very, very fun and rewarding experience, which can get you to smile and to laugh, which is the reason why I had used this picture. So let's get right into it and the tips that you can use for a successful job search. So I will give about 30 seconds. I want you to look on my screen. Just look at what I have. 30 seconds. I know this is I'm not getting feedback in real time from everybody since we're streaming straight to YouTube. But I will give you about just 30 seconds to just look at what I have on screen. And it's this is something that involves you to work on. It's something that because we spend time on this personal job audit, and it's something that I had learned myself about a little over a year ago, working with a classmate of mine. Olumide Dwetoluwa is his name, and I mean, and it taught me these things about wanting to do a job audit, and I discovered that this is actually an awesome way to beat the competition. This is and also it's not you see, so it's not It's not a sprint. It's more like a marathon, something that you have been consistently preparing yourself for, and ultimately it happens. So there is it's not about suddenly hitting the jackpot. No, it's about consistently and continually committing to doing these things, asking yourself these questions, and then preparing towards the niches or niche that you want to play in or work in. That is what this is about. So it's about a personal job audit. And the first question that you need to ask yourself is this: what kind of industry do I want to work in? So I'll give you an example. I, for one, have always wanted to play in the energy industry. Energy industry, you need to streamline it. I wanted to work in the oil and gas company, preferably an exploration and production company, which is a company that is actually involved in operations, not just a company that services or renders services to people that are operating. A company that has assets. By asset, I mean they have maybe an oil field, and they have operations go on their field. So they always have people, engineers who are on the field doing things. So I've always wanted that. So you write it down. What kind of industry do I want to work in? At the top right hand corner, I had written that you should make a list of 1 to 3 answer choices for each of them. Now, what kind of industry do I want to work in? You make a list. I want to work in the chemical engineering. I can relate to chemical engineering much more, for instance. So, what industry? So, there is the energy industry. You can write it down. The energy industry right now encompasses the oil and gas industry, the renewable energy industry, which has fast become a big thing right now because of the amount of investments that are going into it, and even major IOCs are also heavily investing in these alternative energy sources. And you could also look at maybe pharmaceuticals. A lot of chemical engineers play in pharmaceutical industry with a tremendous knowledge of chemistry. And also, you do want to play as in the laboratory, in research field, or in new grounds about technologies, in the bio industry as well, in health. Chemical engineers also play in the health sector. So you write all of these things on what industry do I want to work in. Now it's good to now ask yourself, okay, I'm reaching out the industry I want to work in. So the next thing is, how informed am I about these industries that I have written out? So it's always good to write out industries not of your preference. Which one catches your fancy the most, or you're very passionate about, or you want to build your career around the most? Just write that as number one. Then you list. I said you should write about 1 to 3 answer choices. So you could also write one. This is a short bank. This is where I want to work in. It's just one. Fine. So how informed are you about the industry? How informed are you about the things happening in that industry, the trends in that industry, and all that? I mean, what news body, what's new? Where do you get your news about industry from? Do you know what is happening in the industry today? I was talking to a friend 2 weeks ago. Currently, he takes up things in software engineering. So he started with coding and all that. And he said, yeah, there was once point in time he had a session with the director of where he was working with. And this was something he shared with me. And although it didn't end well, I did give you an expo there. But what he had said was that he, he the director had asked him, okay, wow, you're very interested in software engineering. That's good, though. There's money in that field. Something like that. I just warmed up to him and all that. And then he asked him, oh, do you know Inye Oluwaboyeji, Flutterwave? Okay, he did not say Flutterwave. I'm just adding Flutterwave for my own knowledge. But he asked, do you know Inye Oluwaboyeji? And then he was like, well, no, he doesn't. And I was like, really? You code, you are in software engineering, you are like doing you're coding your software engineering, you do not know Yelu Aboyeji. Now, am I saying knowing Yelu Aboyeji is a foolproof is an assurance that you're very good at what you do? No. But I'm saying that look at that. He wanted to that's at times a cursor to some persons. It tells them a pointer that you actually know very well about what you do. One of the things that challenged me so much about wanting to know about the industry, I'd always known about the industry, read up about it, follow up on news and all that. Um, is the one of the things that challenged me is that um, I was at SPE NICE conference in 2019. Yes, it was a conference in 2020, in 2019, and I met the then president of SPE Uniport, um, and um, and Victor was his name. Victor had said something in one of the booths that we're in the exhibition hall. He saw a company. I cannot quite remember the company name, but it was close to where Boaz Integrated was situated. And he looked at it and was like, I think it was even Boaz. And he looked at it and was like, oh, wow, I do not know this company. So he was talking to one of the company reps. I was like, wow, what does the company do? He asked very, very beautiful questions. He was just honestly inquisitive about what they were into. And the fact that I was surprised he had never heard about them since they came to exhibit it, but they came to exhibit at NICE. So that challenged me. And then he said something that blew my mind. He said he makes it a point of duty to know at least one new company every week in the oil and gas space. And I was like, wow. So every week he wants to do something different. He wants to know one new company every week in the industry he plans to play in. And he's like, okay, we'll read about the company, check their website, what do they do. So when you're talking about a company next time and he gives you an opinion, it's not because he suddenly stumbled upon it. No, it was a very intentional step that he had taken to know that particular company, to know that industry. So, and that is something he had done about being informed. The second thing you need to know after you've chosen the industry is now, okay, this is industry I want to play in. What companies are in these industries that I want to play in? Now, when you have identified, okay, I want to play in the oil and gas industry, we have Total, E&P. We have, it's good. In the industry knowledge also tell you that there's in the industry, there's something you call upstream, you call downstream, you call midstream. There are companies playing in downstream, which is just the direct services to final consumers. So you would know about things like that. You know the company arm of whatever IOC that is playing in that particular sector. So write out the company name that you are interested in working with. You can make this one about 10 companies. You can make it 20. You can stick with 1 to 3 if you want to. Then ask yourself, how many employees, how many people working in these companies that I want to work in do I know? Decision makers are people that are like maybe in top positions. Employees are generally everybody that works in a company, everyone is an employee. But decision makers are people that are top of the ladder in those companies that are also working there that you should know. That you should know. And those are the people that I have called decision makers. So who are the decision makers in those companies that you know? That's the next question to ask yourself. And then now, how many of them do I know? So you need to check. Okay, this is one thing that SPE helps us with. SPE helps us with knowing a lot of industry folks, and you could know employees and decision makers off the top of my head. You would say, "Well, I know people in Slum Brigade, I know people in ExxonMobil, I know people in Total, I know people in Chevron, I know people in Amni, I know people in Ajib." You could say things like that. Oh wow, and these are companies that I've maybe one day I would love to work in their process engineering department or maybe in their mechanical engineering department, working with softwares that are about engineering design and all that. So you have an idea exactly what company you want to work in. So you are clear. So this is on the path towards having clarity of vision. And then you're clear about what you want to do and all that. And then you ask yourself again, what job positions in these companies do I want to have? Like I just give you an example. You could say, oh, I want to be a process engineer in this company. That's good. You have identified a job position in the company that you are interested in. You could also ask yourself, okay, oh wow, I'm interested in being maybe a lead researcher in a particular. So that's an example. You have a job position in that company that you are interested in. Now it's good that you also talk to employees that are now in similar position, which is where you would now find things like LinkedIn coming to play. I have a slide that tells you about it as well. LinkedIn coming to play because LinkedIn is the biggest professional platform. See, that's social media that we have on there, the biggest professional social networking platform for people across the world to connect professionally and much more about what they do in their career and in their lives. So you talk to employees in similar position about the job description. Ask them, okay, well, I see that you could send you could send them a connection request on LinkedIn and then send the message that to follow to start a conversation. And then you could ask, hello, Mr. This, I discovered that you were, I mean, we cannot, you can just craft a sample mail that is very, very, that tells him about you and that you're interested in that position that you are, maybe you're currently a 400 level student um, in this university, and you just like to know and prepare yourself for the future about what are the skills that are required to function in that role. See, a lot of people, when they reach out to people online or reach out to maybe young professionals or professionals in their fields or people who are working, they are always about, hello, sir, please, I want to do internship. Can you help me get internship? I want to get a job. Can you help me find a job? Things like that. People do not come from the point of, okay, what value can I seek to get from this person that is not immediately a benefit that is monetary or that is about getting me something or immediately doing things like that. Now, I'm not saying that it is all wrong, but I'm just saying that if you change your approach to how you deal with people and you come from the point of proposing to learn from them or to give them value, the way they address you or they deal with you would also change because you are looking to learn from them. Oh, what skills do I need? So as you're learning, as I tell you, this is what you need to do. You need to also maybe get a certification, work on this. Well, jobs are changing right now, so just make sure you add machine learning or add data science or just add something on data analysis. You need to also be able to use Power BI right now. I'm serious because I'm just giving an example because I mean the industry has changed from what it used to be before. Maybe chemical engineers we just used to deal with process design, deal with P&IDs, deal with process flow diagrams. But right now things have changed. Now we're doing a bit of analysis around maybe some joints in the well. So I mean you just write them and learn from them. Make it something you are about purely learning about what the role entails and preparing yourself for it. Now it's yes good. I also do your research and check what are the future skill sets that will be required for that job. You can discuss it with that person as well because it's currently in that role and they are also maybe evolving and adapting themselves to what the role is going to require in the future. So, I mean, when you ask yourself all of these questions, you spend a lot of time on this slide, you make a list of these things, you see that you are far better than you were when you were just randomly looking for a company to work in without clarity of purpose and of vision. So, which takes me to the next thing about what I call the job spectrum. And what is called the job spectrum. And it's about the fact that there are three levels, three cadres when you're maybe trying to get a job. There are people that get their jobs from job portals, which is at the base of the pyramid. You know, as you go up, the lesser people on the pyramid, you see, when you it's like the division of the country. You see, there are many people. This is like it's like wealth distribution. Many people are on the lower levels of wealth. In the middle level, you have just enough people, not as much as the base, but definitely no, not as much as the base, but way less than the topmost part of the pyramid. At the topmost part of the pyramid, where you have the CEOs, maybe the CFOs, the directors, the MDs, the assistant directors, the managers, and all that decision makers. People who can single-handedly take a decision and say, "Oh, let's hire that guy. That guy is starting the job tomorrow. He's starting the job next week." Something like that. So and then you see that the more you go up the pyramid, the more you know people that are at the top of the pyramid, the better your chances of success. That's what I call probability of success. And also, the higher your bargaining power. So you can easily say, oh, I'll give you very, very practical examples here about the fact that as you're going towards this, okay, look at this on a job portal. If there's always a job open, people would even tell you the fact that many times the jobs that get to job portals are jobs that maybe they have not found or nobody is willing to give anybody, or jobs that they just filter down. The least jobs are the ones that get there. Many high profile jobs very many times would not get to job portals. It's not always true, but many companies they would always prefer to get recommendations about who can do a job and then send them offers if they would like to do the job to come and work in that company. And you see that job portals always, if an application goes out, 10,000, 20,000 people could apply for that particular opening or openings. But try to imagine if the same job opening was just among it was known by the employees of the company, and those employees were telling people that they know or that they think are qualified to apply or send a mail to one particular email address of the company. So it will cut by about 100. maybe 100,000 that applied when they put it on a job portal like Jobberman, it will be maybe 1,000 that would send their CVs based on employees that know other people that just told them, there's an opening in my company, send your CV to this at hr.com or something like that. Or send it to hr at mycompanyname.com, something. So you see, there'll be a reduced number of people in the employee level. But at the decision makers level, that's almost a certainty. It's almost like the ND of a company says that, oh wow, we need somebody to actually come up as a new petroleum engineer in this company. Wale, are you not done with your masters or your BSc? And he's like, oh Wale, can you come and work with our company? He's asking you to come and work. He's not even saying it's not so much about an interview. So anything that happens like an interview or the like, will just be a formality. So it's good to try to have a profile of these persons on your in your connection. Just have them in your circle of in your connection, your circle of connection, something like that. So make sure that this is what SP also does for you. SP, we have conferences where you can at the end of the conferences meet up with people that normally you would not get access to. Just talk to them. You could find out about them, relate with them. Primarily first, like I said, it's not always about what they can do for you. Just about establishing a connection. That when you come from the point of just primarily establishing genuine connection, people would not always feel the need to want to run away from students or from you, or that you would put a lot of pressure about requests and all that. No. So you see that the higher you go up the pyramid, you would have reduced competition. There will be less persons competing for those roles that you want. And also, there would be what people call politics. A lot of people in Nigeria, which is true, will tell you that it is who know who, people who know people. But generally, I want to give a job to somebody that this is not nepotism, which is about maybe family, people and all that. About someone I know that I can trust their character, I can respect them. I learned this from my mentor a couple of years ago about the fact that I think it was nice 2019 too. People will do business with who they know first, who they like, and then who they trust. It's the same thing about jobs recommendation. Generally, I want to give a job to someone that I know, or I want to work with someone that I know, somebody that I like, and that I can trust. Because it takes time to want to trust another person. Somebody else, I want to bring the person on board to come and trust the person. This is similar to the fact that, when I was in school and then we had roommates. When I have a roommate, I have a roommate in the room, and we have been living together for several weeks and months. We trust each other. We did not start from trusting each other. I just get to, know him. What's your name? Wow. Your name is Michael. You're in law. Fine. Nice to meet you. My name is Mayokun Chemical Engineering. We're roommates. I've been seeing how you live your life. Then I get to the point where I now begin to like you. Oh, wow, how I like Michael. Michael is actually a very good guy. He's pretty good at what he does. He writes sport news. We talk about football every now and then. We analyze things and all that. And then it gets to the point where I now get to trust him. I've known him. I now like him. Now I trust him. Now, if it happens that Michael brings a friend of his to come and sleep in the room, maybe for 1 week or so, the way I would behave towards Michael's friend, yes, people will say, except you are having high service, but it cannot be the same way I will relate with Michael because I do not know Michael's friend. Not to talk of liking Michael's friend. Not to talk of trusting Michael's friend. So if I have maybe 5,000 naira, I would readily not just drop it on my bed and go out. Or I have maybe my phone. I will not leave it on the bed and say I'm going to the bathroom to come back because I do not know anything about Michael's friend. It's not about blind. This is not blindly trusting someone. It's just you taking care because you have no idea. You have no information whatsoever to act on or to judge the character of that person. So you do not know him, you do not like him, you do not trust him. There's no reason you want to do business with him. The same thing works. Recommendation, word of mouth is always like the best way to get results. It's the best way to succeed, to get to be recommended for a job. That's it. Word of mouth. So who do you know? You need to ask yourself. You don't complain about who know who. Ask yourself, who do you know, and how can I work to know people that can help me? That's it. So so this image really is very clear. The arrows, I had already shown an arrow that goes up about the fact that your bargaining power increases when you know people at the top, and that your probability of success also increases, and the competition reduces. So the competition is increasing in this direction. The competition is increasing in this direction. Bureaucracy, which is like politics, which is okay, you go first. No, you don't go. So bureaucracy, people trying to do this also increases. And then, you can also negotiate for a higher salary based on who you know. That's also about bargaining power. So, um, I have just a couple of minutes more, and I'll like try to end. So the other thing I would say about a tip for don't forget we're talking about tips for a successful job search is about your resume and your cover letter. Resume in a lot of other parlance, people would also see this as your CV. So although there are a lot of there are big technical differences about them. So and um, well, thank you. I see a comment from Oyindamola. It's thank you very much for your comment, Tiekpo, and others. Thank you very much for seeing your comment on YouTube. And I just want to say that your resume and your cover letter. At this stage, generally, people would say if you have maybe 0 to 5 years experience, your CV can always stay on the page, except you're adding irrelevant information. So when you're going to write your CV, it's always very good that you keep your CV short. Make it a single page document. Just make sure that you're compressing your details, remove the non-essential things that do not need to be there. Keep it short. A single page document suffices. Now, in your CV, you'd always have sections. You'd have your name, your address, whatever it is that is required on your CV. You'd have some, many persons, I do actually, I have a professional summary, which if you look at the fifth item on this list that I'm sharing with you, this slide, summarize your competencies if you have a career summary or a personal statement. So if you have something like a career summary, a professional summary, a personal statement, similar to what is the section about on on YouTube. So if you have that, you can easily um, use this to summarize what you can do, what your competencies are, your skills, and then when under your work experience and you want to list what you did in any role that you were in, you can use action words. This is very important. Use action words. Don't say I executed. We know it is you. So you can just use action words, bullet point, executed the completion of the project in the phase two of this. I supervised 4 people to complete this, to complete the construction of a toilet sink in a record time of 4 days. I added 50 million naira to the revenue of my company in 28 years, something like that. Oh, okay, yeah, we not maybe not 28 years right now. So I added 5,000 naira to the revenue of my company in 3 months, something like that. So I mean, and then it's fine. In the world we're in today, certificates are speaking volume. A lot of persons are advocating that maybe the traditional way we have education might not hold, and then it's a whole lot about what you can do these days, and not so much about what's your qualification. But then certificates are very, very good. I met a man recently who was very, very proud, not proud, but he was proud of himself. He prided himself in having had about, I think he had 75 or 78 official certificates from accredited institutions. This was the first time I was seeing someone who had that much. So he had a lot. I think he said he has about 20 something certificates in digital marketing. He's a digital marketing expert. So he was, and when he talks, he's knowledgeable. He's very sound and robust in what he knows. So certificates are very, very credible. They're very, very important these days. And then your CV, when you write it, check how you have formatted your CV, how you've written it out. Is it readable to HR personnel? Can somebody read it comfortably and be fine with it? So this is one other thing. I like figures, I like numbers, and numbers at times help stand out on your CV. Like in my CV, I put my CGPA in a percentage format. And interestingly, it was the one that made me get a job I got last year, December, even though I did not do that job right now. But I got that job not last December 2019. And it was about the fact that I had written about my CGPA, I converted it to percentage, and I told that I obtained this percent of this obtainable percent in my CV. And someone read my CV and in the company, and he was like, okay, wow. He said he didn't even call me for any of that on CV. He said it was just that summary, professional summary. That like, okay, let's check this guy out. Let him come for an interview, and I came for an interview, and I was successful. So something like I like numbers on your CV. So look at instead of saying under your work experience that you taught chemistry to 12 students. I learned this from a friend of mine, Olumide as well. He said you can say I taught chemistry to over 100 secondary school students, and I recorded a 20% pass rate. So I mean, it's good to use these numbers under your experience. I primarily just intuitively thought I could use it under professional summary, and it has done me good. So how much more if you use it under your experience for your CV. So, or rounding up, I would. This is the penultimate slide before I we call it a day, and it's about LinkedIn. A lot of persons do not utilize LinkedIn, and it's good you utilize LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, like I said, it's a big platform for professionals across the world to leverage on for connection and all that, and to relate, to work together, to collaborate, to come to rub minds together, and to learn from themselves. So your LinkedIn profile, make sure it is optimized. By optimized, you need to have a good headshot. Your profile picture should not be like WhatsApp profile picture, where you have a picture of yourself full and you are far. Maybe you took it on a horse or something. No, LinkedIn is very professional. I'm not saying you cannot have fun there. You can, but it's pretty professional. Just make it a professional issue. Something like maybe the frame of my video that you're seeing right now of you maybe dressed officially or dressed in something that suits the work you do or the image you would like to put out there for people to see. So work on your professional summary, make your about section, make it relatable, make it interesting, um, and then your cover photo. Which cover photo is the background photo, which is the photo at the back. Twitter has it. I think Facebook has it as well. LinkedIn has it too. It helps your profile to come out better. So for me, I have a picture of myself in a suit as my headshot, and at the back I have a picture of like a process flow station, something like that, telling you this is me, this industry I like to play in. So make sure your profile can be related to your resume, your CV. Let them match, and then like I said for your CV, you can also use action words on your action words on your profile, on your LinkedIn profile. Yes. Now I want to say one final thing before I call it today, and I thank SPE again for this opportunity. It's about the fact that in life as we go, there are always expectations. Life always has its own demands. There are things that, I mean, even at home you will see that um you when you're 15 or 16, people will be expecting, have you gotten admission to university? And you're 19, 20, they'll be like, are you not done in school? When you're 21, you're 20, you are done now. When are you going to serve? Okay, so already people already like have in their own heads the plan, their own plan for your life, something like that. But ultimately, your life is yours. And you are for ladies and guys alike. I mean, I do not do any comparative advantage that one has over the other. And then I now see that, generally in a society, you see that it gets to a particular age, people start asking, when are you going to get married? So already people have expectations that they want from you, and all of these things can put pressure on you, cause you to revert to what I had talked about at the beginning of this slide about managing yourself. You can go back to revisit the points I listed there about that your thoughts are yourself. You cannot control your thoughts, but you can manage them. You can manage them, and or to the point where you can now control what you feed yourself on, what you feed on, and what you get to take into you and all that. So, but all of these things affect your mental health, which brings me to the next slide about the statistics that I have gotten from Gravitas Plus about what mental health problem is in the world globally. This is globally, actually, not just Nigeria, but I'm just saying it's got much more in Nigeria with the mirage of problems that we have and all that, and the difficulty of getting a job, and it's pretty big, it's pretty immense. And I would also advise that if you can, leverage on the trends that we are having these days. A lot of people are working on some side jobs. Freelancing is a big deal these days. Copywriting as a skill is huge. Designers are online. Fiverr, Upwork, working with clients by mail, LinkedIn, a very good place to put yourself out there about whatever skills that you do have. That if you and then work on those skills to get people to patronize you. And I'll show you the statistics now. It's from Gravitas Plus, like I had said, and it shows that there are about 300 million persons suffering from depression in the world globally. Now, to give you a bit of a perspective, 300 million persons is a lot. It's more than the population of Nigeria. At the current estimate of 200 million that we're giving for Nigeria, which is not confirmed, this is about 150% of our population, more than all Nigeria combined across the world. It's close to the population of the United States of America, which currently stands at about 330 million. It is more than 2 times the population of the USSR, of Russia. And if you combine Italy, You combine the United Kingdom. Let's not forget that United Kingdom has England. It has 4 countries. If it has I think it has England, it has the Wales, it has Scotland, and it has Northern Ireland. If you combine all 4 of those countries as UK, and you take Germany as well, I think of the UK, I think England has about 40 million or thereabouts, the most out of all of them. And you take Germany, you take France, combine all of those, it is still not up to the number of people suffering from depression worldwide. So your mental health is key, please. In all of the things you do, you want to jumpstart your career, follow the steps, follow the steps that I have talked about. Um, do a job audit of yourself. Be very conscious of what you take in. Work on job portals, leverage on connections, on relationships, active and be active on LinkedIn. Talk to people. For mental health, you need to talk to people. If you are going through anything, reach out, ask questions. I mean, we're going to work much more as an alumnus of the school to try to see that alumni are accessible to students on campus. You can ask questions of any persons that you see maybe is doing something you might want to do, or you need a guide on something. We would work on that. I am easily accessible as well. You can reach me through on LinkedIn. Mayokun Oke is my name on LinkedIn, or you can send an email to me, mayokunoke@yahoo.com. So if you want to talk about something related to your career and all that, I can make out time to talk to you, to speak to you. But please do not bottle things all in and let it lead you to very, very gloom states that become your way of life or that makes you do that consistently. Nigerians are always very helpful people. I mean, very, very lively people. Even when you are sad, you go on WhatsApp, you check somebody's status, you see a particular meme about something, 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 you laugh it off. So much more in our country, we are very strong, we're resilient, but I do not think that depression is not real. Depression is very real among young professionals. Some people that feel like their lives are not up to the standard of so many persons that given to them. So, like I said, the life is your own life, and it is not anybody else's. So, SPOU, thank you very much for this opportunity. I am very, very appreciative. Mr. Vice President Ifeoluwa, I really want to thank you for everything that you guys have made me come on this platform to talk. I hope you find this helpful. I hope you learn from it. If you have any questions, I have not gotten any questions from YouTube right now. But if you have any questions, I am open to take them. Or better still, we can always take them outside this. Um, we can take them outside this session. So thank you very much. That's my time, Mr. Vice President. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mayoko. It was a very enlightening session, and yes, I'm very sure the first thing everyone watching must have done is grab a pen and, of course, write down the things you would do after this session, and to help people with things they want to do. You mentioned some key things like, writing your CV well, optimizing your CV. You also mentioned how to use LinkedIn. So
yeah,
in SP this administration, we've had ALPs and we've had sessions on those key things, and we will definitely drop the link in the comment section. So please check the link in the comment section. I'll be posting them right now, and you would see content on how to help you optimize your LinkedIn account, optimize your CV and your resume. And I hope if you have questions, you will just drop them down below, but the links will be coming up right now. Mayoko, would it be nice if you would it be good if you just share your screen with your LinkedIn handle, so people can just.
Okay, beautiful. I will do that right away. So my LinkedIn handle is so I'm coming, please.
So sorry about this. This is just to show people watching that I have attached links to valuable resources relevant to this session that you can use. You can watch how to optimize your CV, and you can also watch how to use LinkedIn well to place yourself better for more job opportunities by, of course, Mayokun here. So please check them out in the description below. I mean, in the comment
So,
section below.
Mr. Vice President, I have shared my screen with the LinkedIn URL for my. So it's just down there. So you can just search for Mayokun Oke on LinkedIn, or you can use the URL www.linkedin.com/in/Mayokun Oke. Find it. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Mayokun. This was indeed a very brilliant session.
Thank you very
So
much.
I would just say, yeah, you're welcome. So I'll just say we wait for about, say, 2 minutes to see if people watching would have questions for us, and if they do not, I think we would have to bring this session to an end.
Okay. I can do a minute.
All right, sir. Okay, so personally, me, I have questions. What if after career you want to you do not really want to start something, say maybe because in school you didn't choose the right course to study, and you don't see yourself working in that career path. How can you help us optimize this advice you've dropped to start up your own level of work, your own level of entrepreneurship, your own level of
Okay.
job
So
search?
are you talking about standing alone, or maybe
Yes,
working in a sector that is not what you have studied in school?
both of them actually.
Well, you're correct. You have a very very good point. But one thing I would also say is the fact that generally everything boils down to the same structure. You have a structure for this, and the fact that what I have just told you about audit, you need to also audit yourself for that role. So you want to play in another industry, you need to ask yourself, okay, what industry do I want to play in? How much do I know about the industry? What's the requirement for people going into this industry? You need to ask yourself, who are people that I know that are in this industry? You can also find out, are there people that moved from your own field into those industries? Try to find out from them, know them, reach out to them, learn from them, see what they did. See, life, we are not without help in life. There is always someone who has done what you want to do. You just need to find that out. And if it happens that you are the one leading yourself or doing things by yourself or for yourself, through yourself and all that, you could also, like I said, see, if you come when it comes down to just having these questions and answering them, when you put pen on paper to answer the questions that we have just highlighted, and you now check out, you can now see where you stand and what you need to do to get to where you want to go to. I've seen people who maybe had a background in engineering and ultimately want to do media and want to make it big in media. And although media is so much about your skill set, or you can maybe relate to people in entertainment and all that, but they like don't do it professionally. So they just sit down, ask yourself, if I want to do this long term, what do I need? Like I said, certificates are a big deal right now. So people can be engineering undergraduate degrees, but you can get a certificate online for an online course that certifies you in what you want to pivot into, maybe in another field or something. And that certificate also these days serves to show that you can do this. Now, there's one thing I did not have in the slides. It's about as you go in life, you should have a portfolio of the work you've done. So let's say maybe you're a designer, so you want to maybe be a designer and not do engineering, which is what I feel like the bulk of our audience would be. You want to be a designer, you want to be do designing professionally. And even if you have a skill set, it might be good to maybe some people might say, yo, you have the skills, but you don't have a certificate. Just try to take a course or something, then you can get a certificate to at least show that, oh wow, you have a skill set before. Take a course, get a certificate that just shows that you have this. So that when you maybe write a CV to a company, whether an international company, which they always like to see proof that you can do what you say you can do, have a portfolio where you have past work, your designs and all that. Send that to them together with the certificate that you've just gotten from maybe one course on design and all that. That suffices. They will not ask you for a best certificate many times. So it's just like that. Do an audit of yourself. Check out where you stand, where you want to go to, and then we can now plan how you need to get from where you are to where you need to go to. So I feel like that answers your question. Many other things you want to know about that is going to just be more robust and
Yes,
yes.
yes. Thank you very much
So
for that insightful
there's
answer.
still no question on YouTube, and I want us to be faithful with time since it's more than 1 hour already. So I think because it's been one
Yes,
hour.
sir. Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you very much for today.
A
We
pleasure.
really
Pleasure
appreciate
very much.
your input today.
Thank you for having me, sir.
All right, sir.
So that does it. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much.
All right, that brings us to the end of today's event, and we would like you guys to join us every Saturday, 12 p.m. This is what we do. And yes, if you would like to be a guest or if you would like us to talk about any topic, please feel free to reach out to us here in SPOAU, and we'll definitely consider it. Thank you very much today for your time, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. One more thing, sorry. Please follow us on all our social media platforms, and I'll be projecting my screen. So here are our social media platforms, and please do well to follow us. You can also reach out to us using these links or these platforms. So that'll be all for today. Goodbye.